How to be a confident woman in meetings starts with one key thing: getting your timing right of when to speak up and contribute. Watch to the end, and I'll also share how your inner perfectionist is actually only getting in your way on this count. First, subscribe to my channel for weekly videos that are going to take your career to the next level. And click that bell so that you never miss a video when they drop. I'm Dr. Suzanne Doyle-Morris, founder of Inclusive, and I have talked with literally thousands of women and have helped so many of them who come to me initially because they want to build confidence. Well, today I'm here to tell you that you're going to get further if you first focus on highlighting your competence, that is your skills, your abilities, your qualifications, more before you worry about your confidence. So I'm going to give you the tip about timing in meetings that I shared with Moira, who's a senior associate at a law firm, or was, I should say. Within a few weeks of thinking through her timing at meetings, people were commenting on how Moira was holding herself much more like a partner. Now that worked out for her really well because 6 months later, in that next partnership round, Moira was indeed promoted. Yay! She was complimented on how she'd grown her confidence, it seemed. But really, we only ever worked on her competence around using timing to her advantage. So she went from being a person who clammed up in meetings all the way to increasingly being asked for advice by junior associates who now saw her as someone to definitely emulate. So let's start with a secret. Now, the key thing to realize is that there is no such thing as a perfect comment. Perfection lies in the eye of the beholder. So what you say versus what other people are expecting you to say actually play a big part. So just say something. Start there. You're never going to get the message that's perfect for absolutely everyone in the room. So don't wait for that magic comment to come into your head as if given by a very career mother, a question, an observation, what you've seen work elsewhere, or even just praising someone else's idea. They all can count as valid contributions in those meetings. So my tip for more confidence is to speak up early in the first few minutes of any meeting to reduce any mounting but self-imposed pressure that you may be feeling to make the perfect comment before the meeting ends. So I'm about to get all scientific on you. Researchers found that in looking at discussion groups of both men and women were much more likely to regulate how much they spoke, taking up less time overall. Now, no doubt, women do this for a variety of reasons, from not wanting to appear dominating all the way through to just having a long list of other things that they've got to do after that meeting. I know, we have all been there. I see this tendency in my work where women almost seem to do almost like a subconscious mental calculation in meetings. The math they're working to is that if there are 5 people in this meeting, then I probably shouldn't speak more than 20% of the time. So they get completely surprised or annoyed when someone else takes up 50% of the time, particularly if they're adding really nothing of substance. Worse yet, if that person is another woman, because she should know the rules, right? So speaking early, however, also allows you to see who else might support your idea and could become an ally, something we need to work with. That's awesome to have those people on board. The trouble with waiting until the end is that by that point, everybody's kind of ready to move on. And so they might interpret your carefully crafted point as lengthening the meeting for no reason. And let's be honest, no one is loving that person who keeps you on the seat longer. When I was writing The Con Job, Sasha Mooney, who is a barrister at law, also saw the difference in how women display their competence in the first few minutes of any meeting. Sasha told me, women often have their heads down, taking notes. She said, I've done this too, so I know they want to ask well-considered questions with their facts recorded before they make their case. But she said, what I notice is that the guys are much more likely to pipe out when and as thoughts occur to them, interrupting where they see fit. You can almost see them thinking things through as they're speaking. If you too have been in this type of con job meeting that Sasha and I have, well, give me a quick meeting con in the comments below to let me know you've been there too, because they're not fun meetings to be in. But in my experience, women often do most of their thinking before they start talking in meetings for a couple reasons. Mainly because they don't want to get anything wrong and be judged harshly for it, which is a reality for women who work in male-dominated fields. So Mooney's advice, put your pencil down and start making points or asking questions in the first 10 minutes of any meeting, because waiting until you have it all figured out is far too late. This challenge totally resonates for the many women that I coach. In my experience, non-status quo members assume crucial decisions will be made at the end of the meeting. So, not surprisingly, they leave confused or very frustrated if it seems that the decision was already made, maybe even before they even started a public debate in that meeting. So get your points in early, because waiting for the perfect and most insightful comment of the whole thing that your inner perfectionist wants you to contribute, well, it's not going to serve you. In fact, those who are in the know can actually resent those difficult people for asking detailed questions later on in the meeting. To the status quo, the end result, well, it's already decided either ahead of time or in the first few minutes, because they read the room and could start to predict the outcome based on where the alliances were. So this topic is exactly why I wrote my third book, The Con Job, which focuses on why we need to stop assuming the outwardly very confident people are the only ones who should be making all of the decisions. Instead, we need to better value those with the right skills and experiences to be making a much larger proportion of the decisions that are going to affect us all. And if you want to stand up to the status quo and help me put an end to the overvaluing we do of confidence in the workplace, then click the link below to check out the book and keep up to date with the activity following the book by looking at #morecompetence on Twitter or Instagram. And share it with your friends or colleagues, because no doubt you and me are probably not the only one who have been in these types of meetings. And subscribe to my channel so that you are the first to see the rest of the videos in this series as they get released. And if any part of this video resonated with you, well, give it a like, because it helps us to know that this is useful for you guys. And in the meantime, go and check out the rest of our series on how to be a confident woman at work.